obesity is a state when somebody does not have the self-discipline and allows themselves to become severely overweight.
How would you define obesity?
Okay, well, in my personal opinion, I think being overweight and obese are two different things, so I would define obesity as being severely overweight to the point where it's unhealthy.
How would you define obesity?
So obesity would be, I would say, like an unbalance in your health and body diet, and because of that you become a bit overweight. And I think that would be defined as obesity.
How would you define obesity?
To be a chubby guy.
How would you define obesity?
McDonald's.
Okay. How would you define obesity?
Fat.
How would you define obesity?
Overweight.
How would you define obesity?
I will define obesity just the lack of exercise and just kids, just a generation just staying inside and playing video games. I mean, to me that seems like, and that's part of obesity. I mean, you stay home and eat, play video games, you can just gain a lot of weight. I mean, that's it.
How would you define obesity?
I define obesity as fat people.
Define obesity.
Obesity is just being unhealthy and overweight.
I look at the camera, look at him.
Define obesity.
I think obesity is someone who's over their BMI and over their body weight, what they should be for their height. That varies depending on how tall a person is.
Do you think obesity will be solved during our lifetimes? Why not?
No, I think you're always going to have people who are just naturally bigger than others. I think there's been some progress with Food and Drug Administration as far as daily allowance for calories, and people are more healthy and understand more of what they're eating. But it's kind of like the deal or no deal. There's always the person, they want to make that extra deal, make that extra money. Same thing with eating. They just can't pass up that extra biscuit or that extra roll. So I think you'll always have types, both types.
Alright, I don't think obesity will ever be solved completely because there's always going to be some people that just don't take care of their body. I think we as a nation can slow it down or make it smaller across the nation, but there's always going to be some people that just don't eat right, and for that reason I think there's always going to be some form of obesity in the world.
Define obesity.
Being like, it's a step above being overweight.
Do you think obesity will ever be solved in your lifetime? Yes or no? Why or why not?
No, because personally I think that a lot of losing weight is just kind of getting up and doing something about it, and I think a lot of people these days lack motivation, so probably not.
Define obesity.
I think obesity is kind of when you're like a little too thick for your own good, you know, you just kind of built it up a little bit. You're getting a little, in my best words, fat, I would say.
Do you think obesity will ever be solved in your lifetime? Why or why not?
No, I wouldn't think so. I think to a certain point, like the amount of options we have and like fast food and everything, I think that can't really solve obesity when we have all these like free options and like a lack of exercise.
Do you think we will ever solve obesity?
No, I don't think we'll ever solve it. I mean, it seems to be getting worse as the years go on, so I hope that we do the trend reverses, but I don't think we'll ever completely solve it. I mean, I think as long as there is unhealthy food out there to eat that tastes good, and as long as there are devices and things and machines that make our life easier and make it less necessary for us to be active, that it's going to be a problem.
Do you think people don't always exercise as a way to fight or avoid obesity?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think, as I said before, I think that we're starting to lead more sedentary lifestyles where we're sitting down in office chairs all day or sitting in class and not exercising. And so I think when people want to lose weight, a lot of times they turn to dieting. Dieting alone, which I think dieting, especially eating well, like more fruits and vegetables and less sugars and fats and things like that, is a good thing. But I think it should go along with a good exercise program and just staying active. And I think, I think a lot of people are kind of overlooking exercise as a good way to fight obesity.
How do you define obesity?
I define obesity, as far as I understand it, it's people that are, or if you are obese, it's people over a certain weight for their height and gender. So, just kind of overweight, I guess.
Do you think obesity is a problem that is growing?
Yes. Yes, I absolutely do think it is. I mean, from the study that I've read, it is, and it seems like as we, in America at least, have a more sedentary lifestyle where we're not going out as much, we're on devices, playing on our phones and video games and things like that. I think it is, and our diets are seemingly getting worse and we're busier, that I think all that is contributing to higher obesity rates, yes.
Do you think obesity is being overlooked?
I don't think it's necessarily being overlooked, but again, I think that with our lifestyles now, that it's something that we don't really pay a lot of attention to, and we just, we probably think, yes, people are getting more overweight, but there's just not as much motivation for people to eat well and to exercise and things like that.
We got the opportunity to go to Dairy Queen to show how unhealthy their blizzards really are. Mr. Turner and Sauce ordered 2 medium-sized blizzards. It cannot be that bad, right? Well, unfortunately for the ones who crave blizzards regularly, were proven wrong. Mr. Turner ordered a turtle pecan cluster, and Sauce ordered a chocolate extreme. Mr. Turner's had a total of 960 calories, and Sauce had a total of 810 saucy calories. Most experts say that 2,000 calories a day is the healthy amount for an adult. The fact that one medium-sized blizzard from DQ contains nearly half the amount speaks for itself, and definitely an item that you should really not eat unless you're short on food products. But that's just for a medium-sized blizzard. There are many meals that succeed with over 1,000 calories with blizzards.
This is very disgusting. I make something. I made the right choice. Oh yeah.
As you can see here, there are obese rates for countries such as Canada, Hungary, and Australia. The picture shows the average physiques of grown adults in their respective countries. And looking at the United States, it shows that we are in shambles.
Do you think obesity is a problem in the U.S.?
I do. I absolutely do.
Why?
Yeah.
Because I think kids are not active like they used to be. I think they don't make healthy choices with food. I think they go to fast food a lot, and the inactivity due to video games and cell phones. My opinion, I don't know if that's factual, but it's definitely my opinion.
How have school lunches changed over the last few years?
I think our school lunches have changed with the government requirements and the sodium and the calorie content and the guidelines that the government is putting on us to
It restricts us.
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
restricts us, and in their defense, they're thinking this is making it healthier, and so that's kind of the basis of the change for that.
What are the most popular items in their calorie count, fat gram per gram?
In the snack shack or in the lunch line?
I mean both.
Yeah.
Both. Probably my most popular are the Rice Krispie Treats. I can imagine that they're, and the calorie count on this is 190 for one serving. It's one bar in there, and the total fat is 5 and saturated fat is 2 grams. Not bad, but not great. But yeah, Rice Krispie Treats are my big seller.
All right. What do you think are the percentage of students do you feel eat a balanced and healthy lunch? Like, how do you how would you
Okay.
approximate that?
If I were to compare that to the amount of students in this school, let's just say for the sake of easy math, we serve, there's 100 or 1,000 kids in this building. Percentage-wise, we are probably an eighth of the students.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I don't even think we're at a quarter of students that come and eat lunch. So that's a hard statistic for me to give you, but we're trying to increase our numbers, and that's why we just did a major turnover in our line. Thank you for that. So we're hoping our numbers increase, but right now it's not high.
What was the turnover?
What'd you guys change?
We added wraps and salads, so and you can actually get a shot of that over there, the specialty wraps and salads. So we have the spicy buffalo chicken wrap, we have the Southwest turkey wrap, and the BL double T wrap. And we've added Southwest chicken salad, Asian chicken salad, and a chef salad, along with some main menu items that have started.
Do you think at any point obesity could be solved during our lifetimes? Or your?
That's a tough question. No. I mean, I think it's up to parents. It's up to parents to start getting kids off of technology and outside active, getting them active. Kids just aren't as active as they used to be.
Do you think students' diets should and will change? Do you think it will change?
I
Obviously,
hope so. It's my hope. Yeah, definitely. Because kids, I think the younger generation, they think they're invincible. And I think studies will show that when they're unhealthy as young adults, they're going to be very unhealthy as adults.
back to people not understanding nutrition and not necessarily getting the physical fitness that they need on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis consistently enough. Yeah, I think any times that you're, out there exercising, getting work in, whether it be in a sport like soccer or just any kind of physical activity, it will help individuals and help us as a country kind of deal with the obesity problem. I think a lot of the things that the sports don't necessarily focus on are nutrition. And I think that's something that we could do a better job at, talking about nutrition as well as the physical fitness that occurs in sports.
How intertwined are sports and exercise?
It's definitely a big combination. Any kind of sport that you're going to partake in, you're going to be doing something to be working on your fitness, being work on your physical self. Different sports have different weightlifting requirements. They focus on different muscle groups, but definitely any kind of sport activity that you're going to be in is going to have some cardio, which is going to get your heart rate up, which is going to be really good for your overall fitness and your overall health.
Is there anything you tell your team about staying in shape?
A lot of what we do to stay in shape is more in drill. We don't do a whole lot of running other than some preseason activities. So we try to do a lot of things in drill, just high intensity, and get a lot of our fitness done that way. We try to do periodic checks throughout the year, preseason, during season, and then towards the end of the season, we try to do checks and just kind of make sure that their physical fitness is kind of at the bar they set and or improving. So we do try to do those things, but a lot of the physical fitness that we do isn't straight line running or sprint type work. It's more in drill, quick movements, which are, in my opinion, more lended to the game of soccer, how you're going to have to react to things.
Have you ever had a player who was played for you who hasn't been in shape, but for you all for soccer and doesn't know he had become in shape? If so, how do you do it?
The biggest thing is...
And don't
name names?
Yeah.
All right, you got it. I can think of two people in the last year at different places that I've been associated with that have come in out of shape, and that they've done a really good job both in the work that we do here at soccer. Like I said, it's a lot of quick movement, it's high intensity, so it really gets your heart rate going, kind of boosts your cardio. And then also the biggest thing I talk to them about is, phrasing it in a way that they understand where they're at, so they know that they're a bit behind from a physical fitness standpoint and kind of a game fitness standpoint, and make sure they understand that, at the high school level, you have them 5 out of 7 days a week more often than not, but at a club level, it's 2 or 3 days a week. So what are you doing those other 3 to 4 days to make sure you're working on your fitness, and that they understand that, while it is important to work on their technical abilities and be on the ball, it also will really help their game in the long run if they're out doing miles and working on their fitness, doing quick cone agility type drills. But it's just having an understanding and being able to talk with the kids and being able to motivate them enough that makes them want to improve. And a lot of times it's on the kids, and they do a really good job of reaching and meeting that level. I'm going to say probably not. I think at a certain level, the masses maybe don't get the understanding and get all the information to work on their physical fitness, whether it be physically to going out, doing their running, their weightlifting, whatever it is to stay in shape, or really just working on a nutritional plan to where they're feeding their body the right kind of things to make sure they're physically in shape. I don't think people do a good enough job of that or are educated well enough to do that. So whether or not we'll be able to solve obesity, I think that remains to be seen, but I think it just starts with an education that it's not always the physical demands. I mean, you see a lot of weight loss coming from just revolutionizing people's diets and just changing the way they eat. I think a lot of things that reflect on our outer appearances are how we feel about ourselves on the inside. So I think when you feel good about yourself, when you're eating healthy, even if you're just starting to get healthy and you're just starting to work out, when you start eating healthy, when you're in the gym, when you're doing those kind of things, you start having a more positive outlook and feel more positive about yourself. And I think that translates into better results. When you're just kind of thinking negative, like, oh, I've gained this weight, I don't know how to get it off, my diet's no good, I can't figure it out, I think a lot of people have issues. But when they start making little gains and they understand they're checking off small boxes, but in the long run it's going to pay off for them, I think the more positive their mental state is, their mental health is, I think the more positive results.
What I see a lot of times when people come in, it's not always obesity I deal with, but a lot of times people gain weight. It's emotional stuff that's going on with them. Maybe they lost a family member or a friend. Maybe they don't know how to cope with certain things going on in their life. If they've just been fired from a job or have trouble looking for jobs, or money's a problem for them. And the way they find comfort is in food if they don't have friendship or someone they can talk to. So it's really, obesity I think it's a coping issue that people deal with, and they don't realize how quickly it gets out of control, and before they know it, diabetes becomes an issue with obesity, heart risk becomes an issue with obesity. So really, I think obesity is a coping mechanism that we see come through our door. And really, people are very secret about their problems until we start exercising and they feel more relaxed and they know who we are, and then they start to really break down on us, and it becomes an emotional experience for a lot of these people to talk about what's going on in their lives. So a lot of it's sometimes just mental. They are both needed in everyone's regimen and routine. One's not better than the other. It just comes into what time are you doing it. Personally, I like to start my week off with maybe 2 or 3 strength days, touching my push motions, my pull motions, and my squat motions. And then I like to run either hypertrophy workout, hitting all those areas, or a circuit workout, touching all those areas, so that way I can include my strength and cardio all into one workout at the end of the week and just continue to burn my muscles out. That way my muscles don't plateau from doing the same consistent strength routine, and that way I don't lose muscle mass by just doing cardio either. So both have their place in fitness. I just wrote down a quick little circuit workout that one little round that I like to do, so you can see it. It's a push-up, a tricep press down, a box jump, and a plank. I think the best thing that we do, not only is our website and our marketing, but the second people walk in our gym, we make them feel really comfortable. The second they walk in, our trainers are greeting them. There's clients around them that are smiling them. Everything in our gym is one-on-one. It's not just a regular 24-hour training gym. It's only personal training. So they know when they walk in, we're going to be there greeting them. And they immediately feel comfortable because there's not 100 people staring at them when they walk in the door, and that's what usually intimidates a lot of people, is that they feel like there's other people watching them. It's very intimidating to exercise in front of a big muscular guy right next to you and hold 10-pound weights when he's holding 50-pound weights. So I'd say that's the first biggest thing that we do. And then what we do through our consultation, which I talked previously before, is we tell them expectations that they can expect to see along the way, and timelines of what they can expect to see, rather than when they do it on their own, they have no idea what it's going to take, or how long it's going to take to start seeing progress. And we kind of coach them through the whole process of what you expect to see in your first week or your first month, and after three months. And we're a no-contract gym, which is what a lot of people like about us, and we tell them, if you don't like the way we train, if you don't like the results you're getting, you should feel free to walk away. You shouldn't feel tied down to make a commitment to something that you're going to hate. And immediately people think, this is where I'm going to get results, this is where I'm going to see results. And we do. And when we start showing them the results through their body composition, not just weight on the scale, we show them their fat percentage coming down, we show them measurements on their arms, their legs, their waist, their hips, they're immediately happy. And we track that every month, so that way they can say, hey, maybe I didn't lose any weight this month, but they can show me that my body fat went down and my measurements went down, so my body composition changed. So I'm losing inches on my hips, which means I'm gaining muscle, which is why my weight didn't change. So there's a lot that goes into how we can keep clients through marketing, but it's also what we deliver in our gym, and that's why we have great positive reviews at our website. That's why we have clientele that'll stay for years and years and years, rather than typical gyms where people will come and go month after month after month. So I think it's who you surround yourself with in your gym and how do you market yourself. You got to have the right content out there.
In this graph, it shows obesity by age. As you can tell, the mean obesity by the percentages in the U.S. start low during your infancy, then goes up as you get older. Then once you hit 20 years or older, the percentages skyrockets.